Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, where you receive real and authentic updates about the Iraqi Dinar. If you want to stay informed with moment-by-moment developments, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. In today's analysis, we're going to take a grounded and realistic look at a perspective that has been circulating among long-term Iraqi Dinar observers, particularly those who have followed this market for many years. The central message is clear: it may be time to step back, reassess expectations, and separate hopeful speculation from the actual economic and financial realities on the ground in Iraq. The statement we're analyzing comes from someone with over a decade of involvement in the Iraqi dinar space. That experience brings a level of credibility, especially when the message challenges commonly held beliefs. The core argument is that there has been an increase in wishful thinking within the community, particularly around the idea of a sudden or near-term revaluation, often referred to as an RV. According to this viewpoint, many of the narratives that have circulated for years, such as special exchange opportunities, exclusive access points, or secret timing windows, do not align with how global financial systems actually operate. Let's break this down carefully and analytically. First, the mention of no 800 numbers, no exchange centers, and no special windows is significant because it directly addresses some of the long-standing rumors that have been part of dinar discussions for years. From a financial systems perspective, global currency exchanges do not operate through secret hotlines or limited access redemption centers. Instead, currency exchange is handled through regulated banking institutions, central banks, and foreign exchange markets that are transparent and governed by international standards. This brings us to an important point about how currencies actually gain or change value. A currency's value is not arbitrarily increased overnight. It is influenced by macroeconomic fundamentals such as GDP growth, inflation control, foreign reserves, political stability, trade balance, and investor confidence. For Iraq, this means that any meaningful appreciation of the dinar would need to be supported by sustained economic progress and structural reforms. The statement also emphasizes that Iraq still has 1,000 things that need to be done first. While that may sound like a broad claim, it reflects a real underlying truth about the country's economic development stage. Iraq has made progress in recent years, particularly in areas like oil production and fiscal management, but it continues to face challenges in diversifying its economy, strengthening its banking sector, reducing corruption, and improving infrastructure. One of the most important aspects mentioned is compliance with ISO 2022. This is not a minor technical detail. It is a major global financial messaging standard that is being adopted by banks and financial institutions worldwide. ISO 2022 aims to improve the efficiency, transparency, and interoperability of financial transactions. For Iraq to fully integrate into the modern global financial system, its banking infrastructure must align with these standards. This process involves upgrading systems, ensuring regulatory compliance, training personnel, and coordinating with international partners. It is not something that happens overnight. Therefore, when analysts point to ISO 2022 as a requirement, they are highlighting the broader modernization effort needed within Iraq's financial sector. Now, let's talk about what this means for expectations around a revaluation. The idea of a rapid and dramatic increase in the value of the Iraqi dinar has been a popular narrative for many years. However, from a purely economic standpoint, such an event would require a combination of strong fundamentals, policy decisions, and international confidence. It would also need to be managed carefully to avoid inflation shocks, capital flight, or instability within Iraq's domestic economy. In the short term, the realistic outlook is that any changes to the dinar's value would likely be gradual and tied to measurable economic improvements. These could include stronger oil revenues, increased foreign investment, banking sector reforms, and progress in political stability. Short-term fluctuations may occur, especially in parallel or unofficial markets, but these are not the same as a formal revaluation by the central bank. In the long term, there is potential for the Iraqi economy to grow and strengthen, particularly given its natural resources and strategic location. If Iraq continues to implement reforms, improve governance, and integrate with the global financial system, this could support a more stable and potentially stronger currency over time. However, this is a process measured in years, not days or weeks. Another key point to consider is the role of the Central Bank of Iraq. Any official change in the exchange rate would be announced through formal channels and implemented within the banking system. It would not be distributed through unofficial sources or limited access programs. Transparency and regulatory oversight are essential in maintaining trust in a currency, both domestically and internationally. It's also important to address the psychological aspect of long-term holding. Many individuals who have been involved in the Iraqi dinar for years have developed strong expectations based on earlier narratives. When new information challenges those expectations, it can be difficult to adjust perspective. However, in financial analysis, adapting to new data and maintaining a realistic outlook is crucial. From an investor awareness standpoint, this perspective serves as a reminder to approach currency speculation with caution. The foreign exchange market is complex and influenced by a wide range of factors. Relying solely on unverified claims or optimistic projections can lead to misunderstandings about risk and potential outcomes. At the same time, it's equally important to acknowledge that Iraq is not stagnant. There have been real developments, including efforts to digitize banking services, improve payment systems, and attract foreign investment. These are positive steps, but they are part of a broader, long-term transformation rather than an immediate trigger for a major currency event. For those following the Iraqi dinar, the key takeaway is to focus on verifiable information and economic indicators. Look at official statements from the Central Bank of Iraq. Monitor fiscal and monetary policy changes, and pay attention to international assessments of Iraq's economic progress. These sources provide a more reliable foundation for understanding where the currency may be headed. In practical terms, this means shifting from a mindset of expecting sudden windfalls to one of observing gradual development. It also means recognizing that currency value is just one piece of a larger economic picture. Stability, growth, and integration into the global system are all interconnected factors that influence long-term outcomes. As we conclude this analysis, it's clear that the message we started with is not about discouragement, but about realism. It encourages a more informed and balanced approach to understanding the Iraqi dinar and Iraq's economic trajectory. By setting aside unrealistic expectations and focusing on factual developments, viewers can gain a clearer and more accurate perspective. Thank you for watching Iraqi Dinar News. If you found this analysis helpful and want to stay updated with responsible and factual insights, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And as always, please remember that this content is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice.